Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear today. Can y'all believe it's July 1st? It's amazing. We're halfway through the year of 2014, and I thought June was just it was such a wonderful month. We had a lot of rain and all, but it's just some great fishing. Had opportunity to do some really neat things, and July is going to be no exception. So appreciate you watching Panhandle Outdoors. Get a lot of feedback from it, and I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy the feedback from all you viewers. So let's get started with a weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. It's going to be a high today of 92 and a low tonight of 78. And the water temperature remains at 83 degrees. Now, it's been really nice on the water temperature. Now, I don't have the river readings this morning, but let's go ahead and take a look at our moon forecast. We didn't get a chance to look at it yesterday because we had a whole show of video. This is the end of, we're actually on this Tuesday. So yesterday, you see, the new moon has started, and it'll be building up, and I'll show you it'll be about 2 weeks now, we'll start getting a full moon. So the moon is a waxing moon, and a lot of things are happening, and the river's in great shape. The big situation on the scallops and all, we'll be talking about that as the week progresses. On Friday of this week, I'm going to give you a detailed account of the scallops and what's been going on, okay? My marine forecast today will be north-northwest at 5 to 10, all right? We'll take our break and we'll be right back. Oh, welcome back. I got too big a hurry and I forgot the tide chart during our weather. So let's look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Their motto is when carrying counts. Looking at July 1st, and we're having some good strong tides today. It's a high tide at 12:33 p.m. and a low tide at 10:08 p.m. So it's going to be going out, coming in this morning, going out. But you look at the rest of the week, if you're going on July 4th and all, a lot of y'all will be on the water. Neap tides on July 4th and 5th. That weekend will be not much tidal flow, which can be good in scalloping because a lot of times the water clarity is always a question there. And also, if the tide's flowing really fast, a lot of times in the afternoon that water is really hard to see. So should be good scalloping the next couple of days. Okay, but Jeff brought this in. Jeff Beck, our director here, he's going to South Carolina for the holidays and all. Here's the what they do for the red snapper in South Carolina. He just brought this little bulletin here. You may think we have it bad here. They have the first 2 weekends, okay? The recreational fishery for red snapper is for 3 weekends in South Carolina. July, it goes over 3 weekends. I know, but then the last weekend's on Friday and Saturday, and during the open recreational season for red snapper, the bag limit is 1 fish per person per day, and there's no minimum size limit. So that's pretty strong right there when you have a situation of there. So be aware if you're going there. And next year it just don't look good for next year. What everybody's saying. Okay. Let me read this email here from JB Hilliard. We have I got it here somewhere. Let's see. I got a fishing report there. I had it here somewhere. So let me. Here it is right here, right in front of me. Been a snake that'll bit me. I always enjoy, JB from the Phoenix Springs, I always enjoy Captain Paramore when he's on your show. Talking about last week. Good, it was a good show this morning. Next time you have an FWC guest or someone who may have information, this is interesting here. Maybe they can tell us why the mullet population is obviously so low in the east end of Choctawhatchee Bay. The mullet guys who snatched them with treble hooks have all just about quit trying and gone to brim fishing, which, by the way, has been outstanding this week for weeks. It's been outstanding on the Choctawhatchee River. Commercial guys with cast nets are having a difficult time taking care of their customers. That's J.B. Hilliard in DeFuniak, and I've had correspondence from him before, and he knows what's going on over there. So I would like to, if some of y'all have any ideas on what's going on with all the mullet on that end, Choctawhatchee Bay has always been full of mullet. Those guys have been able to snatch them and they're catching them on hooks and all. So that's the first word I've gotten on the Choctawhatchee River about the mullet population. So I'll ask Ken if any of his guys heard about it. But any of you viewers up there in Freeport or DeFuniak or over there at Santa Rosa have heard anything about it or have an idea on what's happening to all that, then let me know. Okay, Also, the question when I had last week when I had Ken Paramore on and we didn't get to cover it, one of the viewers asked about venting. Remember, he was on a headboat, he and his son on a headboat, and just kept catching these small red snapper, and it just kept floating off. And he noticed the deckhands were not venting them like like we showed you before how to do that. Well, it's not a requirement anymore to vent any fish you bring up. They found out it really didn't help all that much, so it's not a requirement like they had it. I would still, myself, if the bladder is really big and all, I still would like to vent them because, I along with my viewers here, y'all feel the same way I do. You just hate to see those red snapper just floating off a trail behind the boat. And we've talked about this before. If nothing else, they should be able to keep those. Just count those as your limit because they're going to die anyway. So, but the venting rule is not in effect anymore. And I personally, when we started doing it, I thought it helped. We were getting some fish down. This season, the few times I've been, I think I've been 3 or 4 times red snapper fishing. We've had really good luck releasing our fish and they're going right back down. We've only lost I bet less than 5% of the fish we've lost. And that's been because they swallowed the hook and we couldn't get it out. But most of the time, the red snapper are going right back down. We've been fishing in fairly shallow water, 60 feet also, and so they're not really messed up. But I know offshore at 100-something feet, it's been a problem. So let's go ahead and take this break. I got some really good stuff to show you, so we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We'll go to the screen now. I want to, when I'm looking up stuff and bringing and share with you, a lot of times there's the pictures you send in, and sometimes there's some sayings I run across. And I like to have some of them are humorous, and some of them are just sort of heartfelt. And I've got 2 today back to back. So check out this first one. I think you'll like this. Spend time with those you love. One of these days you will say either, I wish I had, or I'm glad I did. And you just stop and think about that and reflect on it. And I often think, a lot of times I bring up my dad on this show and all, and I am so thankful that all the things that we've done, even especially once I became a grown man and was able to get time and visit with him, then I think I had a better understanding, as we all do, once you become grown. And same thing, and I lost my brother many years ago, and we did the same thing, spent a lot of time outdoors together. In fact, if you change that saying, you might say, I wish I spend time with those you love and outdoors. One of these days you will say the same thing. So anyway, especially with July here, I know a lot of y'all get some time off July 4th and all, and don't just try to spend some good quality time doing some things with your family, okay? Those you people you love. All right, next saying. Now this is a little bit funny. I thought I couldn't help but this right here. If we're not meant to have midnight snacks, why is there a light in the fridge? Jeff, you like that one? I mean, you stop thinking about it. So I told Gail, I said, because I don't know about you, I like to have a little snack at times, and a midnight snack is good. Okay, now let's go back to all the things you do in summer. One of the things you can do in the summer, and we forget about it, is because we're so concentrating so much on fishing and all, freshwater and saltwater. And by the way, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's saltwater fishing, because tomorrow's video is going to be on freshwater fishing, and I'm sandwiching myself in between. Yesterday was all video. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of video. But before we get to that, one of the things we're doing, take for granted, this summer is really hot during the day and all, but it cools off good at night. I mean, it's not going to be like air conditioning, but it's going to be nice and comfortable in most situations. And one of the fun things to do is go on a hog hunt. And the state of Florida has recognized the popularity of it, and at the same time, you're helping to control the hog population, folks. It can really get out of control, and it can really do a lot of damage. So hog hunting is a win-win for everybody. And now they've even opened up some of our resources available with no quota permit on some of this state-owned property. Okay, this is in the Apalachicola River management area. You can dog hunt or still hunt on these weekends right here in Franklin and Gulf County on July the 18th through 20th, and of course see August the 15th through 17th and September 19th. And you don't even need a management area permit. You just go into management and you can hog hunt, okay? The next one here, let's go to the next one. Now you need a quota permit so they'll know you own it. Up in Liberty County, Apalachicola, the Bradwell unit, which is a good unit right up in, I know that area. July 11th, okay, that's right about 2 weeks from now. And then the following weekend, and then look in August. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times to hunt that area right there. Okay, That's July. Then the Box R Ranch down in Franklin County. A lot of y'all know where that is. That's a lot of hogs down there. It's a good place to hunt dog and still hunting for hog hunting. Okay, and so just be aware of that. If you get your trigger finger, you just want to go shooting and all, and that's a great opportunity to hunt them with dogs or still hunt. So be aware of that. Okay. Now, also we're going to talk about the scallops. I'm going to give you a full report on them Friday. But remember, they're small this size of year, and I had my scallop shells somewhere, but I think I left them over there. But remember, if it falls through, you know what to do. Remember the chart we made 3 years ago now. I had one of my students. We talked about it constantly about the small size and all, especially this time of year, because they only have a year. Thanks, Jeff. They only have a year. Okay, here's some sizes right here. Okay, that's a full-grown size right here, and this is keepable right here. But if it's smaller than that, and you just put it on your hand and all, you can sort of see the size and all that. If it's smaller than that, I'd throw it back and go back to the same spot in a couple of weeks. They grow rapidly this time of year, and but a good and it has so much more meat on them. So we had that chart, remember, and then we had a hole cut through, and if you put it through the hole right there, if it falls through, you know what to do. You just throw it back and come and get them later. And I would encourage you to do that, especially this time of year. In fact, I want to go a couple of times this time of year, just enough to get enough of a cookout. We'll do our annual July 4th cookout and all, and have friends and family down, and we get enough to cook out for everybody. And then I don't food with it for a couple more weeks till they get a little bit bigger. So. I know everybody wants to go now and all, and be careful out there. But big crowds out there, and the water's still cool in the morning. I like to go a little bit after 9 or 10, and about the middle of the day. Water's still a little bit cool if you're not used to it. So be aware of that. And like I said, we're going to give you a full report on Friday's show, and show you exact areas where to go if you plan on going this weekend. Okay. Now, the only downside on scalloping is the cleaning part. But if you like me, I enjoy the cleaning part of any animal. I don't care if it's a deer or a duck or cleaning the fish. I just think it's my responsibility as an outdoorsman to clean and cook what I harvest. If I'm not going to clean it and cook it, I'm not going to take it. So when it gets to scalloping, now a lot of people when cleaning scallops and all have problems with it because it is a little difficult until you get the hang of it. And I've shown this video before. It's a how to clean scallops. It's a little 3-minute video. It is in high demand this time of the year. And keep in mind, I've had many years experience, and when I first started, I was doing all kind of stuff too. But we finally perfected it, and I know people use different ways. And I've heard of people using a shop vac and all. I just don't understand that. I don't know why you want to just take your time because of the way the limits are now. But you should have been with us in the old days when we got 5 or 6 5-gallon bucketfuls and cleaned them at St. Joe State Park in a whole afternoon. But that's when you would get tired. But the small limits now, you're talking about a bucket of scallops that don't take any time with a couple of people on it. So sit down, relax, and enjoy the cleaning part, and you'll get a lot of talking and a lot of fellowship with your buddies and all cleaning them. And then get ready to cook them. Nothing like cooking them fresh that day you get them. Okay, so let's sit down and relax and watch this 3-minute video on how to clean scallops. All right, folks. What we want to learn today is how to shuck scallops. I know some of y'all know how to do it, but this is for you other folks that don't know quite how to do it. Real simple process. You know, scalloping is part of our heritage here in the Panhandle. It goes way back. I know when I do my book, I used to talk to some old timers who their wives sometimes would shuck during the season and all, and they would actually make enough money during scallop season to buy them a car, buy the kids clothes, all kinds of stuff like that. So right now we'll have no more commercial scalloping. Those days are over, and what we have now basically is a real good collection of scallops each summer in St. Joe Bay. And I've been fortunate and blessed enough. This is going on almost 40 years I've been able to do this, and it's one of the most fun things we've ever done with our family and friends. And shucking, though, a lot of people dread shucking, but really it's a relaxing and fun thing to do. A couple of basic things to remember. One of the things, you always want to have your shells open. Now we went scalloping today, we cleaned most of our scallops on the boat, but I decided to bring back a few so we could film this little piece right here. you have step number one, you have two sides of the scallop. You have a light colored side and a dark colored side. Now you always want a dark colored side up, okay? And then you have like, this is a little special, this is an old butter knife we just curved a little bit and epoxied the handle. And you take that curved tip right there and you take it up and you run along the top of the shell right there. You do it in one sweep, then you pop that dark color shell, toss it, and then you get all the guts. Usually you get it all at one time, and most of the time they'll come right off in one clean pull. Toss them away, and then again with that curved knife, what you want to do is slice it right here. You don't leave any meat on the shell. That's what the old timer looked at. Want to know if you left any meat on the shell. Once you have that, just dump them off in there and just start it over. Again, let's do it one more time. You want to pick it up. You have two sides, light colored shell, dark colored shell. Pop it open. It'll pop open easy now if they set out just a few minutes. Always let them open up. Pop off that top one. Now you'll notice one of the things, they do have a lot of guts, a lot of eyes and all. One of the things is that muscle right there sitting on the side. They don't sit right in the middle. They sit on the side over there. So be aware of that. That's why you always come in on your right side. And again, clean it off really good. And these are some big scallops. And you know, scallops, a lot of the jury's still out on the research and all, but basically they used to think they lived for about 12 months, but now they're saying they live from 12 to 18. And I'm going to give you an example. I believe they live from 12 to 18 months. So what I want to show you, this is in one trip now. There's two different size scallops. This one it's got to be full grown, and this one almost, I'd say, half grown right there. And that's you can do that early part of the season, you can get them this size, or in the late part of the season you can get them this size. So just remember, you have two sides. You have a light colored side and dark colored side, and you want to come in on the top part, which is dark colored sides. And hope you now know how to shuck the scallops. I'm Winston Chester of Panhandle Outdoors, helping you be a better outdoorsman. All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. And like I say, that was a homemade knife that Chester forehand made for me. And you can do it. You know, it takes practice. And once you get a hang of it, though, enjoy it. Don't dread it and all. And sit them out there, let them open up a little bit. And don't leave them in the water. Just sit them out somewhere, let them open up. Okay. Let's take a look at a fish and game forecast today, brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty. Mark's number 832-6000. Give him a call for any of your real estate needs between Carabel and Destin. This morning's time was 3:44 to 5:44. This afternoon, 4:06 to 6:06. Excellent afternoon times and good tidal flow and all right now. But we're getting into neap tides, not nip tides, neap tides. Okay. I want to mention I get this report each week from Mitch Coleman, who does a really good job, and I just want to. This is our tip of the day because he was talking in his last report I talked about Friday about the red snapper getting a little skittish, and that's normal. They've been hammered pretty hard in state waters, and we got a lot of spots out there. Been a lot of folks fishing for red snapper, and most folks have been successful to some degree. But what he says right here, and he got a great idea. You want to downsize a little bit on your presentation. Use a smaller hook, use a smaller line and all, because they're beginning to see all this bait thrown in front of them, and so downsize, okay. And and the second thing, instead of getting right on top of that structure, get a little bit off the structure, okay. You only got about 2 weeks left in red snapper season here in the state, so fish. We've had good luck a lot of times, like Mitch says, instead of dropping right down on it, a lot of times on the edge. In fact, that big one I caught yesterday was really on the edge of that structure, and on public number in state waters. That was one of the biggest red snappers ever caught. So I enjoyed that. And speaking of that, now tomorrow we're going to be down to Howard's Creek and fishing. Whitney went with us down there, and they did a little show, I did a little show, but we caught some good quality fish. We fished with the boys out of Bristol with that dadgum pole, and we just had a ball. And it's just so much fun. And I stopped and I was thinking about in the past 10 days, I've been able to do some inshore fishing with Bill Allen and Mark, and then I also was able to go offshore fishing. We saw the show yesterday, okay? And now you'll see, I went to Howard's Creek the other day, and you'll see the video tomorrow, so that's all. And then, of course, scalloping. So we're doing those 4 things, and we're talking about we're living in paradise, and when you do those 4 things in a 7 or 10 day period, at the end of June and all. That's just awesome, and I'm thankful to be able to do that. Okay, now we were talking about outdoor. I wanted to mention this too. I wrote this down. I may not have time to go over it. All the big talk now, people talking about drones with cameras on them, drones and all. I mentioned this a little bit, but that's been on my mind too a lot lately about how the positive aspects of drones for outdoorsmen and all. And you're going to see somebody's going to come up with these camouflage drones with cameras on them, but you stop and think about how they could be used. Okay, well, hunting first. If you even turkey hunters, deer hunters. I mean, if you had a drone, say 300 or 400 yards away from you, pointing that camera in a field or some area, and just buzz around and get a look, and you're going to be a lot more apt to be successful. You're going to see that. It may not be natural. I don't think I'll ever use them. But you're going to see some. And what about like that elk hunt that Whitney went on? And if they'd had a drone and maybe seen an elk in a little bit different area, they would have been able to move over to another spot. So the limitations are endless on what you can do with drones. And these guys that go blue water, out to blue water and are looking for big sailfish and all, you can get some. You just think about. I don't know how far they can go out and all, but you can get that camera and look at the different water lines and all, instead of taking all that gas and going back and forth and all. And I know some people, the rich people, do it, just hire an airplane to go look at it, but the drone will be a lot cheaper, okay? I never did finish, and I'm not going to have time, that summer list of things to do. I've worked on it 3 or 4 times. Jeff always gives me a hard time about when I bring these lists, I'll never finish. Remember, I was talking about all kinds of summer fun things to do. That list is still here. I kept it in my book, and I haven't finished. But I did get. I'm 2/3 way finished. And I was talking about one of the things I talked about was fishing headboat, then snorkeling at the kiddie pool. I mentioned that. Taking the kids out. Kids love to snorkel, and you can see them out there in the. I'm gonna run out of time. Okay, next time I'm on, we're gonna pick this up. Next time I'm on, we're gonna finish this list. I promise. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Y'all get outdoors and do some fun stuff and all. And always do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.